Hey everybody, it's Friday and that means it's time for the Friday show. Now this week I've not got an interview again. I'm going to sort of push the interviews back a little bit, so I'm going to focus on a bit more sort of review type stuff, but in a more focused way than last week. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. If not, check it out. There'll be a link in the description down below. Might even put a little bit of an iCard up there. As I say, I'm trialling out this new format. My plan was to do these on the Sundays, but it turns out my weekends have been busier than anticipated. My plan is to hopefully still be doing Friday interviews, and then Sunday news roundups might be moving to Monday instead, just to give me a bit more time in between them for editing and so forth. So getting right into the point of my video today, I thought I'd particularly focus on Why Not Festival and the recent update on their lineup for the show. So the dates of the festival are going to be between the 25th and 28th of July this year. As usual, it's going to take place in Derbyshire. And the big 6 acts that are going to be headlining are Elbow, Two Door Cinema Club, Foals, Franz Ferdinand, Yumi at 6 and Wolf Alice. So a pretty damn solid lineup there, I would suggest. Nobody particularly unexpected. Nobody you go, whoa, what's going on there? And obviously along with the more sort of obscure artists, you've also got some of the bigger ones, some comeback artists like the Happy Mondays, got Echo and the Bunnymen, Miles Kane, Kate Nash, Professor Green. So it's shaping up to be a pretty damn good festival, all things considered. Hopefully with any luck I should be down on the scene at Why Not, giving you all the latest updates. Hopefully I'll have some nice interviews with some of the artists, big and small. So we'll see where that takes us, and obviously there are more smaller artists to be announced, so keep an eye out on the lineup for that. I'll put a link to the tickets down below if you're looking at going to the event. Hopefully if you're there and I'm there, let's do a meetup thing, let's have a chat. And another thing, big shout out to the guys over at the Face Lunes. Obviously I interviewed them a few weeks ago about their new project, The Real Ceels, which is now up on YouTube. I believe it's on episode 3 at the moment. Episode 4 should be coming out very soon. I've checked it out, it's pretty damn funny. I would highly recommend it. There's always a link in the description down below. If you want to check that out, I highly recommend. Now an interesting music story, but also a more sort of cultural story that I thought I'd have a look at just while I'm sort of doing a more news-based thing. But a news thing I wanted to have a look at was the upcoming documentary about Michael Jackson called Leaving Neverland. Now obviously whether your opinions on Michael Jackson are to the pro or to the con, then that's absolutely fine, and if you want to voice your opinions before or after hearing the sort of the news around this, then absolutely feel free to go ahead, post in the comments, send me a tweet if you really want. If you're lucky I might retweet it, and who knows, we might even get into an argument. So the 2-part documentary, which will be airing on Channel 4 in early March, is expected to be groundbreaking in terms of public opinion on Michael Jackson. Whether you're expecting it to change your view, or whether you're stalwart thinking, no, I think it's all a load of rubbish. You know, either way, whatever your thoughts are, I hope that everybody's going into this with an open mind. I know I am. I haven't been a massive fan of Michael Jackson's work for years, but I'm perfectly open to having my opinion on the man. Maybe not changed. I've never had any particular strong opinions on his guilt because I'm not a court, and this is something you'll hear me say a lot. I don't like to prejudge things that have either been decided or are going to be decided on by a court. That's not really, I don't feel that's my place to do that and to call that into question. That's just my personal way of going about things, especially if I'm going to be doing something like this, something more sort of news-based. I'm going to give you the facts, might give you a little bit of opinion, but other than that, I'm just going to stick to the facts and let the courts do their thing, because that's why they exist. But the documentary has obviously been met with a lot of controversy around how it damages Michael Jackson's legacy, you know, affecting his music sales, all the rest of it. It's particularly interesting to note that all the people who are against the documentary going out are people who stand to benefit from record sales by Michael Jackson. You know, his wife, his children, all the rest of it, people within his estate, which is fair enough on the sense that obviously it's their father, their husband, whatever, so they're wanting to protect his legacy on that standpoint, but also they don't know what's going to happen to all that sweet dollar that's rolling in. That's just my personal thing on that. But then of course the sad fact remains that if it comes out and it's controversial and it changes his legacy, will it affect album sales, all the rest of it, that much? I doubt it. When you look at cases like R. Kelly, obviously Surviving R. Kelly was a groundbreaking documentary that came out and completely changed a lot of people's perceptions, particularly people who were unwilling to change beforehand. So then looking at that, and when you compare that to the fact that his music has increased, but then when you think that he's a living artist and Michael Jackson is dead, is there a question of maybe reputation versus legacy there? I don't know. That's not really for me to decide. That's for you guys, the general public, to have your say on. So as I say, leave me a comment, send me a tweet, message me on Facebook if you really want. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear what you guys are thinking. And while we're on this particular train of thought, I thought I'd have a look at the fact that director of Freddie Mercury biopic Bohemian Rhapsody, Bryan Singer, has been removed from the nomination for Best Director at the BAFTAs this year for the film because of allegations around potential sexual assault. It should be noted, of course, that this hasn't just come out of the blue. Bryan Singer has been particularly controversial recently, particularly around the film Bohemian Rhapsody itself, because obviously he was fired from it a few weeks before the end of filming due to unpleasant behaviour. Apparently the cast felt uncomfortable and he was asked to leave, and another director was to take his place for all the editing and finishing off the shots. So what about the allegations themselves? Well, as I've said before, I'm not one for judging people before there's been a decision made, so I'm just going to talk about the allegations that have been made against him, his response to it, then you can make your own conclusions based on what we know so far. Obviously we don't have all the evidence, nobody does yet, so I would encourage all of you at home, and also I'm going to try myself to remain as impartial as possible, just to sort of look at the facts and make our own judgments from there, but without judging anyone. Well, in January, the magazine The Atlantic posted a piece that basically alleged various sexual misconduct acts, as well as with those who were minors at the time. So, for example, in 2017, Cesar Sanchez Guzman alleged that he'd had sex with him when he was 17. This was in 2003, so this is dating back a while ago. So obviously with these accusations mounting up, of course there will be follow-up with this. The question is, what is BAFTA doing at the moment? Well, BAFTA have suspended his nomination for Bohemian Rhapsody. He was named alongside the producer and the writer for the Best Picture nomination for the film at the BAFTAs. This has been suspended pending further inquiry into the allegations. The Academy has obviously noted that Singer denies all wrongdoing. He denies all of the allegations, and he's described the allegations as a homophobic smear piece. Now that's a particularly interesting note to take it from, because when you think Singer has described these allegations as coming from a homophobic standpoint, now I personally struggle with that. Obviously there is the age-old connotations with homosexuality and sexual assault, which is obviously a very toxic attitude to have, and it should be stamped out at all possible. But the issue is the scope and the breadth of these allegations is so wide that it becomes hard to ignore. If it's just one journalist from one magazine, one newspaper journalist suggesting these allegations, then I would probably take them more with a pinch of salt. But the fact that so many people have actually stepped out, been named, or to stand up and be counted, the scope and breadth of these allegations is so wide that it becomes hard to ignore and hard to sort of brush under the carpet. These allegations go back as far as 1997, on the set of his film Apt Pupil, where he was alleged of various things. A lawsuit was filed for that, but was dropped because of insufficient evidence. And then since then there's just been a barrage of various different people in different settings alleging various things. So from my perspective, it's just a whole mess of stuff, because it's yet another figure in the public eye, particularly in Hollywood, in the film industry, being alleged of various acts of unbelievable cruelty and disgusting behaviour which shouldn't be tolerated. And I personally come from the perspective that the BAFTAs are right to have suspended it, but then they're also right to have suspended it pending further inquiry, because if through somehow it turns out that every single allegation made against this man is false, then it would be right to reinstate his nomination, potentially win. For the other people who worked really hard on the film, worked even harder than him really, who were there for the duration of the thing. But that's my personal take on the whole thing. I would love to hear another opinion, any other information that I've missed out that you feel should be included for the sake of accuracy, because I try to be as accurate as possible with these things. I look at a multitude of different sources to try and get an unbiased view of these things, but you know, things do go wrong. Sometimes I miss things, sometimes I don't realise something, so if you've got anything, then do let me know. I think I'm going to finish off today with just a quick thing that I'm very excited about. I'm going to be doing more sort of music stuff, for those of you who aren't aware. As well as doing this stuff, I'm also a musician. I write stuff, I perform, I sing, I play the piano. And like with every video that I've done so far, there's been a piano in front of me just, you know, to sort of, you know, for creativity's sake, so I can practice between takes and all the rest of it. And now you'll be able to actually see the fruits of my labour. So that's exciting. There should be a few videos coming out of that very, very soon. I should be working on them more or less the same time as I'm filming this video. So who knows, you might even get a preview. And that's the end of our Friday show. So if you've got any thoughts you want to share, any ideas for any stories you want me to cover in any future videos, please get in contact with me. Use those comments down below. Like, share. I'll be more likely to listen to you if the word is out there, if more people are getting involved, getting their voices heard, because then I can talk to more people, I can compare views, we can have a chat, see where we think the other one is going wrong. Hopefully it'll be all nice and lovely. Don't forget to follow me on social media tags down here, and also links down below in the description. This has been your weekly Friday video. I'm Harry T. Thompson, and I'll see you next time.